abusia for se am no ka say dia asem bi eba dia no odin ye pa because nyeka ko ne de enema ni ya nya ye papa obanya sam ketwa eno ko ne say eya twi bi ma dwen ekwa si captain smart asem kan say je say speaker of parliament mo de no nya careful because me say asem we no ebeti no ka asem ne de abusia for ano odin ye pa kwese se am no ka say amampani na do danko Akufo-Addo oni speaker abusia for esi e banta o manya na enya sam ketwa kra ama speaker man na do show down hot one pa enya sam ketwa ne kan sa no then amana ba ne say ya be kaya LGBTQ hu sense say na no ada parliament mo modin pass ye ya se ye twen se na dankwa ebetimi asan na ti abaye mame ya dia tum ya na bo modin a chorete e de koma parliament say edieye omo fa bibia akra ma nti wa stop wo mo se mo fa anti-gay bill ne ma ema president say ne mpesu ya so mo fa nti wo kra eno ena ye sorry ya che say speaker of parliament onunso a respondi amampani enya asem ketwakra na speaker esiden
there must be a steadfast rejection of any attempts to unduly fetter or hinder the work of parliament. The Parliament of Ghana operates as a crucial part of our democracy, embodying the will and voice of the people. Parliament embodies the sovereign will and power of the people. Parliament embodies the might and majesty of the people. And as I keep on saying,
Tesman 92.9,
the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. Any efforts to obstruct its work, Parliament's work,
92.9
disrespects this fundamental institution and threatens the principles of governance by consent and representation. Thirdly, it is imperative to remain vigilant against certain dangerous precedents that could potentially undermine the foundation of our democracy. The rejection of a bill's transmission without constitutional basis introduces a precarious deviation from established democratic practices and norms. Such actions, if left unchallenged, may embolden future attempts to circumvent the legislative process, thereby weakening the integrity and efficacy of our democratic institutions. Lastly,
92.9.
in alignment with our constitutional mandates and the principles of good governance, it is essential for the President to adhere to the lawful course of action by accepting the transmission of the bill. Upon receipt, the President has the constitutionally provided options as to what to do. I don't want to repeat it here. As we move forward, it is the collective responsibility of all branches of government and indeed all citizens to uphold the Constitution and ensure that our democratic processes are not only preserved but strengthened. The current impasse presents an opportunity for reflection and reaffirmation of our commitment to the principle of democracy, rule of law, and the unequivocal respect for the legislative process that forms the bedrock of our nation's governance.
Tesman 92.9.
Honorable members, the Parliament of Ghana will comply with the existing legal frameworks and reject
92.9.
the attempts by the executive secretary of the president through his contemptuous letter to instruct the clerk to parliament, an officer of parliament whose position is recognizably under the constitution. We shall not cease and desist. Be that as it may, honorable members, I also bring to your attention the receipt of a process from the courts titled Robson. Honorable member, I'm watching you. And I hear what you say. Be that as it may, honorable members, I also bring to your attention the receipt of a process from the courts titled Robson Nelson Eche K. Dafiamapo versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, suit number J1/12/2024, which process was served on the 19th, that is yesterday, March 2024, and an injunction motion on notice seeking to restrain the Speaker from proceeding with the vetting and approval of the names of the persons submitted by His Excellency the President until the provisions of the Constitution are satisfied. Honorable members, in the light of this process, the House is unable to continue to consider the nominations of His Excellency the President, to use the language of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, quote, in the spirit of upholding the rule of law, unquote, until after the declaration of the application for interlocutory injunction by the Supreme Court. Honorable members, this is the precedent that is being set by His Excellency the President for all Ghanaians to follow. So any matter that comes before Parliament, any Ghanaian can issue a writ and follow it with an application for injunction, and that is enough to enjoin Parliament from proceeding with the consideration of the business in the House.
Speaker Asema can say, Saman Penisi say Parliament and chain Momunya Kromufama ne ho so on side dia ene na omonso so omonso nya omadwen say ministers na no ada amampani ba omade an resha for mpodi fofo aba no omonso nya omadwen say omonso omeje omatum ama omonso abaye ese minister omonso abaye omadwen so for ensem no enya nyasem goto amampani di si na speaker da giga no sisi ade waka akache say ese no oba Ghana omanfo na eti oman mu no omo otumi echen wo mo otumi nti de omanfo ne kan eno eno sa amampani mamodian no hwe no nye ti amampani nya na adwen say obeje atum de ene omo so nya omadwen se ombeje atum si ade omo so omko brego omko di Easter na se yekoka Yesu usori yi eno na bia nsa omko ma na se Yankopon abamade nsa koma nsa de ba no ano ayedin ye pa na ba de se busafo ne bisa ne se eni ekosui sunsanso bei ene benya wo mpo Ghana ya manyosem epo ka akra be mpo na ekoto abo esi speaker so mo so omo nyintum na esesi ano ministers na omo se don buy no omo aye omo free wono omo bayi esi ka me ese obia position aye vacant na hono ma omo nso nya nyamutum ma omo nso ntimi nya adwuma abusuafo sei na ebde oman yi ebe akọ wi omo de atie bi na fu adwenche ebra efo de ka kwane de eni enya yi pa
na awehosem se aban no nkrabata ni nyina obia dwumadi a wodi ewo man no bia ho hia ma pona tre obia bobre obia tumi ene obia dwumadi a wodi e de boa mo omani empuntu okoso ejo obia ho hia obi nsumu no obi so na de ya awehosem e de ma ye kedma de ni omamu no eye se sa nkrabata mienu die eye ga fo ye to omo so aba yani ye tro mo de ye pe se omo nye ene esen ko mo ye de ma ye sen ke ye ti kebi ma nke bi asipa ze waba e di ma de da fo ni ato aba e yi mampani ne nkrofo nti omo mienu no ma se de da fo no ya ban kwa bata ba omo ne ye ene omo dwumadi omo di nyina Ghana fo ye fa ne sa mamu no omo de ma Ghana fo e ti be dura ye be assess the performance of a massive phone. Council of Mampeni and Crawford and so amongst your 12 baby Mampenia. Ye share me say, Obi Obedi didn't say, or yes, swap one, or did you make the edition in Sano? It didn't say the Ghana for 10. Then yet, Omun said, you want Casape. And then a cobase. Bank Crabata, you need air contopata. Let us a Ghana for one Casa near the break. Is all your cop. Now, soon, you know, air con a there be Indian in your market in Kayana and a break. Into democracy, media, as a year to me before, you share done, you see, you visit. Then, we knew you could be bombing, son, your mother winning at the back. Maybe and can good at the my democracy, but over the year, and then you must stay and crab at a phone or more your money, you soon buy now. As of the young safety from a more acquires a democracy night. Ya dear to me say, and when you did more meno, yes, say, any among you median and could you into their common and idea could find dear. They say democracy, no, a bit made in a year into your house at the more minor, let's tell you be asking here. Oh, my Mr. Speaker.
Very well. As I say, you'll be asking here. Now, let's look at the sources, the causative effect of the air cosi, you know. One, Parliament per a year determination pass a bill, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, a private member bill. One more sponsor and I go through all the processes. Now, okay, Article 106 of the Constitution, the processes of legislation, no, I mean, the president is the final person, as I said, or assente na wadene sa shasye na ababe yemra. Parliament aye na dwuma wie. As I said, one de call mampenya tonight na wadene sa shasye. Then all this while there were commentaries. President said, "Oh, bill ne kra no enyama medro me ho." But even before the bill will get to his table, now we share diplomatic community no amomo assurance. Say, I mean, they will continue to deepen the relationships. The Western countries, nothing is going to stop that development. Then comes again a release letter free the presidency asking the parliament to desist from transmitting such a bill as I say call paying table so now utimi edenensa eshasye. I mean, the question is that procedurally, is it really something that ought to have happened? Say you be issue such a warning to the clerk of parliament, say bill no cry no emanem fam makra. At the time, I mean, in the case of Justice Abdullahi versus the Attorney General, Supreme Court, decided, they said nobody can, I mean, stop the parliament of this country from exercising and doing its work per the Constitution dictate. The source of letter and Akufo-Addo komwe aba.
Osha court mayeti asese entrabatan obi adwumadi awodi ehunsia it obi anwo betimi ade obi adwuma free nsem obi anywa obeti political under to na political influence bia eti obi dwumadi awudi so and krata na free aban esiemu ba ne de politically na ne hunu sem faso obi ani so na eyade a misusu se eyadama the integrity of legislature na parliament na ye wo memu no na etutu omudwumadi ase enti ye ma pona se parliament in quality susumra anase omoshemra owo memu no omudwumadi a mampani utumi se odimra ni tum anase onyimra ni tum. Now politically, what is the position of the president in this case? Parliament really duma. Yamma say on na final say ewo mrani say obedi atum anase wonyintum. Enu nti say wo trole tebi babia na eya koyese o mrana parliament na ahye no wonyintum. Enti say ne yenje de hu mampani ana abankesi o mu position say eduma na parliament ayo mo fomu die wi na yamma apon hye no. What is the clear position of Mampeni in this context? Mampeni wuni bobre eni ginabia ema onfe dibia yi won edize utie se de odi kanka na edika no emra no kra yensan kan mpo eni ade a wonsan kan de eside na wo tro letter adirect emra se be da se mo mfa samra na emeto Mampeni ni enti opposition is saying could then koda inti mampani ma sabi ye who the clear position if is you who the position you dey separating morality as against legality and man say mampani parliament ayi nejuma and man also say mampani mampani you who the position this conflict in the anase or how na dey e be koso apa this the speaker and then ni ye nejuma dia o me o say prison of powers obi a wotumi or omemwa under 3 arms no eminti to mu yi omudwuma yi evia amani nkrabata ba ko executive monso mo bie no monso mo nye ni mu na wo bie na wo nyeye no emi tieti ame bie na ma ye no so enti ni wo ne letter na akofa minti no wase abawe de ne wo nya sempo ye betwe letter no e dia ko ema na sibejafo no se omo mfa be obi a anazo omo mfa emra no hye bia metu mampani enti e be stre.
Can we say, sir, presidency, a goofy by writing such a letter, especially the content of the letter and the choice of words are similar, as a shemo, we know ye catch remo, say emamon fancy hakra. I mean, the tonation of it, the speaker has said, you're quite challenging. Sir, I mean, the executive secretary to the president, will issue such a letter. And then with such words in terms of the content.
The GD sent article now 1067 now. The meaning that people letter. What the Udumadi no send or Mashamranavi or power is it your map or no?
Yeah.
Wow, who thinks of Okaya, who know your Nikura what you are here. Montani and all sign on par on sign. It is a who issue warning. Another threat be to the parliament na ye organ of government in back on. What is all you're saying? Indeed, mini speaker I get pass let the tone of the letter and in the first place, not let any young person ye bet your letter the common movie. Oh yes, sir, who undermine the powers that they have, who undermine the authority and the functions now ye map on the moment. In the letter in the first place, mini class almost into the tone. And in some men who need a quest said you must be your phone crowd. Only your more must be your now a past answer and my baby in a phone at 2 by years. I must be your phone. Some funny dear moment visit. Oh, be any war or one must be the fear on one that they pet. What now? And yet, you be not as sell my dad, yes, sell my bread. I'm to a baby who must be the and I said, if you're no way, and Ran or Michelle, almost speak to me for name or no master, you did an oversight responsibility. It is a net which related be to undermine this great core mandate of Massibia Phonabia. There's a once one thing, any boo, a stepfata, and Madame of
Yes, but some and no justification enough. Say Enra speak and so ebe really say the honorable Dafia Maponso Ako court challenging the size of the government and then the ministers are appointed and only a one. Say in a difficult time like this, as I saw man paying cut it down the ministers now already concerned say a DNT minister of finance. Now you were 2 deputy ministers attached to the minister. Now you sanso akoyi a minister of state at the Ministry of Finance. And ministry back on ministers manage one year bear and 9 econom. Oba local government and so the same thing. You were minister of state at the local government. You were minister in charge of local government and kasanso ewoho and san wasanso abani deputies. I mean, clearly no or say no you're conflicting of duties and roles as Akufo nyina ebe play. Again, he raises the concern say we one minister was sector back. For instance, ebi a Greek ye move you do wako energy. Now omampenyin say we release you off your position as an Greek minister. In that sense, say wo kwako take opposition at the energy ministry, the appointment committee in parliament ought to vet you so that who knowledge acquisition and then your competencies are or they manage that particular sectorial ministry. Now in the absence of it, the fear process Supreme Court entry tribunal and clear on all these things. In that sense, one also place an injunction application say until say Supreme Court no better such an issue, Parliament must equally desist from approving the new nominees or mampenyi di omoaba appointment committee egusu a womo ye vetting. In fact, was vetting no kra no womo nyai said ebeya until say speaker any a year Supreme Court ebenya and Saudi na afa Supreme Court then a final judgment ebeba out on some of these things, pronouncement maya. I mean, there has to be a full stop on all these matters. They say, I'm not ministers in Israel. You approve we one more, and you almost want to be sure where you must.
We need a how na ye or any mining to the Supreme Court never to the size of government are going to be a emfa. I have by no tear Kunyasu to say or back or but on your 2 mina as well for the we and on and
that is very clear in the constitution.
Exactly. And Adia Mrs. Susan Kebitina Kuyi Paya say check and balance. And the parliament in a bit on executive organ say ye put him on their tools say a Jumano Mamuni Nadia Shem and more than the size of government at Esto. It's the so or the speaker of it let will be for a foot to papa who from the woman there a foot to papa and and offer and the size of government now honorable really say and no name has 20 and I say young who do appointment committee and I say me only do media politically no money again no they take care of it put government on tools now acquire checks and balance be a year you must say and some are swap for no bit you see a party and but what ye speaker na quite Mampeni said you try and then speak and a he said Brenna ye did bill no command Mampeni and I said Brenna parliament you yes say or my passing on to Mampeni into and I'm going to know Mampeni the car said no, to say, Obi at the court, a Supreme Court in the or can be a team there. It's the name to say, yeah, the ministers will be 2 months, you know, this say, on also in Tiasia that you want to the injunction, but 2 Nasibe Jaffian, so tip to me speak as a moving to my minister. A staff said you, 1 year you try and then the agents and so on. So, you know, the medical and acquire as soon you know, and to then the creative powers. The Basanso politically a Ghana for one step you here. Please, you need to that Adam Pine. You mean the use to say, as I say, you now swap for Mokoyajuma. And so, and I'm saying, a pass swap for Ninti, Mraswana, and then Mrano, Munton, baby, and Timpany for no. They understand the politics of the game. they understand each other. Into one cousin, can I say? No one cousin, I'm no more power. One cousin, at least we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
No one will be an phone. State parliament, we are young. The enemy shares from the compromise. No more cooperating. Again, a minority, again, a majority, again, a society come once a woman. I should be the few. There be a man to speak a young from running to a seven will be added in Watson, not Ghana for no study. Yet to obey you something, you being a GDM say, yet to above moments or women stone and you want to say, quite your mental minority, majority, and less. Obinsu to the same and the man so you want to say my idea can be a woman about one tea. You can say you see say the size of government in this Abana their court in treat the one now young court you media you do on my if you're politically about family.
Chemical TV, yeah. Chemical TV, anything goes. Chemical TV, for quality entertainment. Chemical TV, at the room. Chemical TV.